right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to this beautiful channel with Undercover with Jay. Oh, man. I apologize. I would have started a stream earlier, but I just been. Today's just not my day. It's been crazy. But I am glad now to be on. So give me a moment. I have some friends that, my normal subscribers here that like to join. So let me get that out to them to make sure, because I know some of them are working or busy. So I definitely want them to be able to jump in here to this one. And get this out there because I'm about to break down some stuff today. So insane. Wow. How about this rain, everybody? How about this rain? I think that's what it has to do with me not being able to get much sleep. So before I get into it, I'm waiting to see if we can get some more people in here. So just give us a minute here. Because I got some stuff to talk about. And it's going to be crazy, as you see, what it pertains to. Whether a asteroid or something else struck Earth. So, pretty much what I'm going to say is it was something else. And there's a reason I'm going to say it was something else. Which we'll get into that here shortly once I get some people in here. I apologize for the coughing in that because it's morning still and I'm still not 100% awake by any means necessary. And like I was telling yesterday on my other live stream, I'm going to be talking about everything that I experienced in and out of the military. I'm going to be talking about things that sources have told me that have been recently going on and back to 2016 that have been going on. We'll even get into discussions about 9/11. We'll get in discussions about pretty much a load of things. Of people sources that I know, sources that my family know that are coming to me, even my own family, because all my family's been in the government, military and regular government. And that's somewhat of why I got into the military, was because of my family and that. But also for life, I was in a troubled youth, starting to get into a really troubled youth and that. And there was that opportunity that I was given that, would help me. And, I've noticed that a lot of people straightened out, but was not aware of the other issues that could possibly pertain to some people like myself that are going through it with PTSD and very paranoid and that can't handle 4th of July because of the fireworks, so I can't even join that with family and that car backfiring sets me off. Any type of explosion like a transformer or something like that would set me off. So it's just a lot. And I'm very paranoid in my surroundings, especially in crowded places I don't like. It's just really rough. Even going to the store, it's just how it is. So I'm hoping some people can join up in here soon so we can get started in this conversation. If not, I'm going to get started anyway because I know my subscribers will have the chance then just to jump on and watch it then. But I usually give the opportunity to, communicate through chat on here and so yeah. I'll give it another few minutes here. But this weather is insane, ain't it? Like the rain. I heard possibly something going on in Alaska that they're evacuating a bunch of people because of a typhoon. Apparently, a real bad flooding from a typhoon. As well as Iran, I heard something from two sources. I don't know. Like, I didn't get to talk to them really because I got messages and that they evacuated Iran. Now I got to check into that because these sources are not my original sources. So, I don't fully trust somebody unless they're in that circle of knowing them or my family knows them. But let me check that real quick. Let me see if that is true. So, I'm not seeing anything else. Really, that's new. It's just talking about the Iran. So in reality, I don't know. Maybe it's not updated yet on there, or they're not. Maybe not speaking about it. It might be something else. And another. Let me check somewhere else real quick. That's another thing about me. I will never speak about something that I hear that's possibly not true. I will definitely do research to make sure, and that's including from sources I know. Like I definitely like to double check. So yeah. But it's been an interesting day so far.
Sir, I'm telling you to get out of the crime scene, sir. I'm telling you to.
Bluetooth disconnected.
No, I'm sorry. For some reason, yeah. What the heck is going on with my phone? Give me 1 minute here. There we go. Okay, so here's one thing that's showing about.
Tel Aviv is being evacuated. Tehran is being evacuated. Both places are being emptied out completely. We don't know what's going on. Trump is warning American citizens. China is pulling out their citizens from both countries. India has given a warning. Several countries are giving warnings. Guys, something massive is about to happen. Tel Aviv is being evacuated. Tehran is being evacuated. Both places are being emptied out completely. We don't know what's going on. Trump is warning American citizens. China is pulling out their citizens from both countries. India has given a warning. Several countries are giving warnings. Guys, something massive is about to happen.
So this is what I'm talking
Tel Aviv
about.
is being evacuated.
I don't know. Okay, I think it is a fake. I think it is a fake. So this post I'm seeing, yeah, June 18th, it says, today is not the 18th, it's the 10th. But that was posted the 6th. So yeah. See, this is why I double check everything. I double check everything. I will not go into it. I'll say about possibilities that I hear stuff. I will say that until I double check it, and then go into it. Now there is a video here. This guy, he talks about a lot of stuff, and I haven't really heard anything that wasn't true from him. And it was kind of funny how I was thinking about yesterday, last night, about talking about this. And then all of a sudden this video popped up this morning. And, last night. Excuse me. Still not awake. So last night, 9 hours ago, I seen this video and I was like, dang, that's crazy. I was just thinking about doing this stream yesterday about this situation in this video. So if you want to listen, go ahead. He's going to be talking. He's talking about the same stuff I'm going to talk about, which, yeah, he knows a good bit.
So now you're telling me that there may be more to the renaming of a body of water than meets the eye. Yes. So if you know what I talked about on my previous video, you know that I had a conversation last night with someone that is very in the know, someone that I trust with my entire life. We went through cancer recovery together, so I trust this source. So we're also going to hypothetically and allegedly talk about this because that's what this page is. This page is all about expanding our minds and thinking outside the box because that's fun. So hypothetically, let's say that a massive meteorite or possibly a mode of transportation, struck the Earth millions and millions of years ago, causing mass destruction. But when said meteorite or hypothetical mode of transportation crashed into the body of water that has currently been in the media, where did it go? Obviously, it's at the bottom of that body of water. But what is inside of this hypothetical meteorite or mode of transportation is a mineral and a substance that is unfathomable to all of us on how much it is worth, the value in it. And the fact that the previous government, that the name of the country that is attached to this body of water, never had the resources or the money to retrieve what is below. So now, all of a sudden, it seems like out of nowhere, that body of water is all anyone can think about, all anyone can talk about. And perhaps that what is there and all of the recent activity, alleged drones and orbs and weird weather patterns and everything that's going on is all interconnected, because that is at the bottom of the body of water is what is attracting and is what is causing everything. So we have a government that wants it, a species that hypothetically is protecting it. Does this all make sense to you? Now, everything I say is for entertainment, education, learning, and conversation only, because I want to know what you guys have heard, what you think. Have you heard this? Drop it in the comments. Let's open this conversation. So now you're telling me that there may be more to the renaming of a body of water than meets the eye. Yes. So if you know what I talked about on my previous video, you know that I had a conversation last night with someone that is very in the know.
So yeah, that's what this page is. That video. And this guy gets a lot of likes, and a lot of people see it. So now I'm going to tell you that this is not at all far-fetched, because there is some parts on land that there's buildings that were built over spaceships. So this story that that there might be a giant mothership underwater that crashed here millions and millions of years ago is not impossible, and we'll leave it at that. It's just not. It's not impossible. It's not accurate. Well, maybe we could put it that way. It's not inaccurate in a sense. Hang on a minute, I'm having issues with this stand here. I don't know what's going on with it today. Always something, man. What the heck is going on? Oh, I might have it too tight. Hang on a minute. Let me fix this real quick so we can get on with this. So, I like how he's smart where he says, hypothetical and that, because he's smart. You got to be really careful on what you say, especially on social media, because a lot of things can happen. But as far as that, I'm going to say it's not far-fetched. It's not at all far-fetched. There is underwater bases and that we thought were asteroids striking the water and that, but and I'm gonna put it this way: it's not far-fetched because recently we've had multiple meteors strike Earth. Now, the one that I'm really pertaining to is that one that had struck near the volcano, but it was green. See, there's a difference between asteroid and something else, and I'm gonna tell you, that video was real. If y'all ever seen it, if not, you can look it up. It's all over the place. It's even been on the news showing it that it struck near this volcano is erupting. I'm not gonna say where. Most of you probably already know if you did watch it, but an asteroid would not be green. the bright light and that. And then there's that asteroid where it disappeared. Supposedly it came out and it broke to pieces and that and if you really pay attention to that video, it's coming down, it does this bright flash and then completely just disappears. An asteroid would not break up that close to the Earth's surface. It wouldn't. That would be at least 10,000 feet up that it would break apart. Or even 20,000, 30,000 feet. Yes. But something that's below 5,000 feet, there's the possibility, of 5,000 feet because, of how big it might be, a meteor or asteroid could be. But it's funny how lately it's been more erratic. Now, we usually have one or two that come down. But it's a lot more than usual. Which, in my opinion, I think it's only going to get worse. But millions and millions of years ago, people believe a giant asteroid struck Earth and extinction happened. No, there was no extinction, and I'm going to prove my point. If there was extinction, nothing would be on this Earth. No animals, no people, no plants, no trees, no nothing. Okay? Something that catastrophic would turn it like Mars. It'd be like Mars. It'd be like the moon. Nothing. See, that's what you guys don't think. It's the whole point is a giant asteroid hitting Earth is so catastrophic as that. You got to really think. How would anything survive? It's impossible. So here's another thing. A lot of people pay attention to Google, reading up what the government puts out there. And they're the ones that put it out there. That's what you're not understanding. You got to look at history. You got to look at these ancient people and past tribes tell their story, and not a single one of them mentions a giant asteroid. And I'm telling you this because that's truth. The only way that something would happen is if it's being told. Okay? And that's where most of our stories are. Most of our told history is the fact is that ancient people have told it. Now, the government and scientists say it was just a story. If they want to cover something up, it was just a story. It's not. Look at the flood, the Great Flood, told throughout ancient history. So for an actual asteroid, I don't believe it. And neither does anybody else that knows the truth. Obviously, the guy that I just played the video of, if you guys missed it, you could replay my video. Hey, what's up, Drunk? What's up? Thank you for joining my chat, brother. I appreciate it. But for back to what I was saying, for a giant asteroid, it would wipe out everything. Nothing would survive. Like I said, it'd be like Mars that was destroyed, and you can tell it was destroyed. You have that gash in it that looks like the Grand Canyon. But something else coming here and striking Earth is the possibilities are more, because if you look out throughout ancient tribes and ancient history, Egyptians and all, and even Native Americans, they speak of these crafts in their drawings and that. And some of them show large enough spacecrafts that is more likely what struck Earth. And I'm going to prove why. Because the military is constantly out there. Yeah, because I played a video of what I'm speaking about, bro. But like he said that, the exact same thing I'm going to tell you. They're out there constantly in these waters at something. I'm not going to say exactly where, because eventually it's going to be known. Eventually everybody's going to be seeing it. But they're out there, and then that's why most of these crafts and orbs and drones, and we're not talking about military drones. We're talking about these other beings, drones that are constantly out there, causing a scene, causing an issue. As far as yet, I haven't heard of any attacks yet. That would be all over. I mean, because people would see it and post it up. And a few of my sources that are into the UFO scene would definitely be all over getting to me. But yeah, these crafts are protecting something. And every time the government's in it now, is it the possibility that they're controlling the weather? Well, yeah, because they're technically advanced. And that spaceship, this mothership, holds something very valuable, which is element 115. Now, these smaller crafts, like Bob Lazar has talked about, are small enough for probably a piece like that. And it's worth a lot of money because it's not here on Earth. It's not here on Earth. There's nowhere here on Earth you're going to find element 115. So a mothership would take a bigger piece of element 115. So if you really think about it, that's probably worth billions of dollars because it's so rare, but also not from this Earth. So element 115 is this element that a material. What do you call it? It's a mineral. We'll call it a mineral, but it's triangular shaped. And now, if you go back to people that have talked to with Bob Lazar, there is a guy that shows a piece of it. By description, I would say. I don't know, he's never actually seen it, but it was a little triangle piece. And element 115 can present what they call anti-gravity. That's what activates the ship. That's what flies the ship, to levitate, and it's quiet. Now, I have sources that have gone to crash ships to help the government remove them. And they said that these ships are so weird because touching them, they flex in. And when you let go, they flex back out. Like, it looks like you dented it. Well, as soon as you let go, it goes right back to its original shape. That is part of element 115. That's another thing. So you're not understanding. It's not just they don't put it in this circular orb thing. They also take a 115 and build their ships out of it. Okay? And that's why it's so light. That's what's unbelievable. So even if a big piece of my understanding, because this thing, even this, it don't weigh nothing. Nothing. It feels like you're holding a cloud from what was told by Bob Lazar. Now, I believe Bob Lazar because there is proof that Bob Lazar worked at Area 51. There's tons of proof. And every time he spoke, guess what happened? He would be raided. His home would be raided. People that he talked to, his home would be raided, and so on and so forth. And there's proof of multiple threats towards Bob Lazar to keep him quiet. But Bob Lazar wouldn't be willing to go out there and risk everything by lying. That's another thing about Bob Lazar. And then it's kind of funny how these other people that come out and speak basically the same thing that have disappeared, these other scientists. And we're talking about multiple scientists that go back. Um, they come out and they're speaking about what's going on at Area 51 and other bases. This isn't just strictly. So that's the problem. Everybody believes that it's strictly Area 51. And that's why Area 51 has slowed down completely. So before everybody really got into Area 51, it was loaded constantly with activity. Now it has slowed down to a point where other bases are being used. And that is true. That is actually fact. I mean, you can't hide that. And I don't have to put myself at risk with that because that's widely now known. They can't keep that quiet anymore. There was a base there. I can't say where. You can look it up. It was on the news that they heard noises. And I had to pay attention. And then I had to replay it. I had to go in here and actually replay it. It sounded like helicopters, and then it sounded like automatic, like gunfire, like straight gunfire. And there's 3 bases, and that's where it was all pointed to. And of course, they denied it, that they don't know what they're talking about now. But these 3 bases are widely known for supposed meteor scientific explorations. And they're the ones that also take the so-called meteors by truck to their bases. And then they bring in scientists, which is funny. These scientists come in these buses that are blacked out, just like Area 51. Now, Area 51 has changed too. So they still do buses. Or before, you used to be able to just pull in with your car. So, like I said, I did the perimeter. And usually the scientists just came in their cars, pulled up, showed their badges, went in. And that was that. And the same thing coming up. Now is different. So now they got a parking spot that's way off. A bus is already there, blacked out and that. And they're rushed on to the bus after they park their cars and are rushed to the gates of Area 51. And they get checked inside now. Now, back in the 80s, Bob Lazar spoke about that there's this weird scanner. And this is my proof that there was technology even back then. Even back then. So if you think about it, if there was technology back then even farther back there was technology. But there was a scanner, this weird scanner that instead of fingerprints, checking your fingerprints, it scanned your bone structure because you can't change your bone structure. You can't. So that's how they identified you. You would go into the building and you would use a scanner. This weird looking scanner that was like a stone slab type like scanner. And then you put the hand on it, boom, it would scan it and it would scan your bone structure. And that's how they identified you, that you are the person that's supposed to be in there. And you can look that up. That's proven fact. It'll show, you can YouTube it, you can whatever, it'll show you that scanner and it's creepy. Now for us, they didn't have to do that. They did our retinas and that to make sure we are who we are when we came in to do the perimeter, because we weren't actually anybody from the perimeter wasn't actually allowed inside unless say somebody did get past through the fence and got in, then we were allowed to go in to go after them. But those days were crazy. I didn't really have to worry about anything. My issue was the paperwork and that, and the orders that were given. I wasn't really for it. So kindly, I asked for a transfer because I wasn't into going after somebody that was, a civilian, a United States civilian that just was curious. Okay, and those orders were just too above and beyond for me. And it's just like, well, isn't it easier just to go after them, arrest them, and jail them for trespassing on government property? No, that wasn't good enough for them. In my opinion, my only thinking of going that extreme was, say, somebody that was trying to go in and steal technical, technology information and take it to another country or whatever. I could see it, but just curious civilians that are curious if the stories are true, that's different with me. So I didn't sit well with that, and I asked for a transfer. But a lot of stuff went there. Now that we're also talking about supposed asteroids, so I have seen in my day trucks that were coming in. Now we were told, of course, that were asteroids, but in reality, I don't. I highly doubt it because when these trucks would go by us, there was a weird smell to it that just didn't sit right with me. It was almost like a fleshy smell, but not like I've smelled our kind of fleshy smell, and I'm gonna tell you, now that I remember it, it wasn't that. It was something different. And these trucks would come in, and they would have us get back. Even the guy that we usually had in the booth that checked everybody in, right away they would have a vehicle come up first before the truck would come up, and they'd be like, "Hey, everybody got to get back. Everybody got to stay away from these trucks and that. We don't know what's in this asteroid." And yeah, so. But like I said, there's a lot of activity going on over in this country that I do believe is not an asteroid. And there's actual fact checking that no one believed it was an asteroid that struck there. And they've been at it for a while, but they just didn't have the resources or the money that country didn't have the money or resources to be able to go in there and get it. So now apparently we're going to until this whole situation work with the United States. But this mothership's been there for millions of years, crashed there millions of years ago. And they believe the activity that's going on there is they believe that the mothership is activating bad weather, bad conditions, supposedly. I'm going to go with the supposedly because I don't even know if that's true. I would really have to wait before I could talk to sources that would know about it. And the fact is, because they only started this disclosure stuff. So I ain't 100% sure on if that's really capable of that. Now, there is a possibility because you got to remember the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle has a lot of activity that goes on, and they try to, of course, say it's something else. But if you're really into the deep, deep stuff, you would know that's bull because there's been too many disappearances. There has been too many crashes and that they can't find nothing. They can't find the ships. They can't find the airplanes and whatever else went down there. And it just don't make sense. It don't add up. We're talking about your instruments going haywire, everything shutting off. Some people have shutting off, and also there's some people I don't know if they're true per se. I haven't talked to these people. I've heard about it. Is they basically went through this cloud that's turned into a circular form and possibly come out the other end where they lost like 5-6 hours of time, which is impossible. So, but there's a lot of them. So there is the possibility of that being true. Very possibility. And that's another thing. Like, is it going to be eventually coming out that supposedly maybe a meteor crashed there and that, it's magnetic and that's what's causing all this malfunction? Or because of this disclosure coming on, are they going to say the truth and say, hey, there's a mothership there that crashed there. We can't get to it. And if something is activated in it, and that's what's causing everything to malfunction. Because this isn't the only place. There's another place over in China, in the oceans of China, that there's another basic triangle that also has issues. And as you know, the stories have told. There's a multiple stories. I don't know if you guys know about Christopher Columbus. Well, who we believe is Christopher Columbus. Let me put it that way. There is no one in actual history that shows back, because the only time we hear about Christopher Columbus, he supposedly went to the Queen, asked to do an exploration to the New World, but that's as far as the name of Christopher Columbus goes. Now, was he renamed for some purpose? Don't know. But anyway, in Christopher Columbus's journal, log notes, what we'll call log notes, because that's what they did. Anyway, it's found out that he discussed about them seeing green orbs and that were flying. And they got to remember now, this is the first time they supposedly went over here, and that we'll get into that on another stream of actually more. There's actually been discovery of America way before that. But the fact is there's a lot of ships, logs that have been found, still surviving, some. But a lot of history speaks about that these ship people have witnessed things. Now, these aren't the only ones. Today's date, there's even people coming forward and saying, hey, I've seen that too. I've seen these green orbs. I've seen these white orbs. And I've also seen these ships. We also see some of these videos that are popping up. Now, I'm not saying they're 100% on... because, I don't even know. I don't have the equipment to check if they're AI or just people playing around to get their, 5 seconds of fame. But if you really look back into history, it speaks about this. Now, they also speak about bad weather happening all of a sudden. And it's kind of is weird because a lot of areas in the ocean do change weather-wise fast. Just like it comes out of nowhere, and you still hear about that today, which is odd because if it's a clear day and it's talking about a clear day all day, how does it switch up right away to a massive storm? It's just a little different in my eyes, and I believe the possibilities of something controlling the weather is a possibility. I mean, advancements in technology that we don't have that could be doing that would be a mothership. I mean, a mothership would have more power than a normal spacecraft. And plus, you're talking about, a civilization that advancements in being able to do that would be possible. Weather manipulation has been going on for generations, technologically, and that's not just from possible extraterrestrials. That is also from the United States government. I have seen things where they control the clouds. I do hear a lot that they're supposedly dumping from planes, chemical trails, and that is the focus on the weather. And that's a possibility that it works because obviously, as we know, it's been constantly raining more. And I've noticed a lot more chemtrails lately too. So is it the possibility? Yes, it's a possibility that is still going on. And I believe it's been going on for forever because the government likes to play God. They want to act like they're God. You also understand that a lot of countries are now doing cloning, and also not just cloning, but the creation of certain things. Like they're talking about the woolly mammoth bringing the woolly mammoth back and possibly other things too. And I believe China would be the first ones to do a dragons because they've always been fascinated with dragons. So the manipulation of weather, I believe that because of those things being said, actually, because they don't care, obviously. So to come out with that is basically coming out and saying, yeah, we control everything. So the manipulation of weather, that's I would say that what's been going on, God, decades and decades. And we're talking probably even far back in the medieval times and maybe even farther. As far as I know, because I haven't, got too many sources in that area that have spoke on everything. What's your thoughts overall on data centers and the amount of them that have been popping up locally, or at least plans of them opening? So your data centers, I don't know if you know, are actually going to be holding robots, your artificial robots, that are basically going to be taking over jobs. That's really what's going on with data centers. So them popping up more and more is also, that's going to raise your electric. It's going to raise your water bill because they're going to be pulling all that in. So data centers are also probably most likely going to be run by robots, mostly. That is the plan also, that jobs will be run all by robots. So, yeah, these data centers, Columbia just kicked theirs out. So they were going to possibly take a buy, and Columbia there was like over 500 people. Oh yeah, it is. So Elon Musk is planning on doing that. So that's what's weird, that this guy just comes out of nowhere and lied in that. So yeah, yep, Anvil too. Yep. A lot of places are going to be nixing them, but eventually it's going to be a forced type thing, or they're going to offer more money because Elon Musk is, like I said, a trillionaire supposedly. But it's his robots that are going to be taking over, and that's taking over job. Now, Elon Musk is also supposedly saying that we'll get paid, but that's how it's going to work out with his hand chip and that, where you pay everything. That's where it's going to go. They're going to nix banks, pretty much cut out banks, pretty much cut out everything, and we're not even talking about Cash App. So basically, those that don't agree to the chip in the hand, we would have to do trades with others like us that are disagreeing with the mark. But yeah, pretty much every industry is going to be soon overrun with robots. China has already basically started with that, but it hasn't been fully done because they've had a lot of issues with their robots hurting their employees. Some of them go AWire or have a malfunction, what they call. I just watched a video where a kid, they had a robot in a parade, I guess it was, or something, and it kicked a child. And the video shows, like, it almost looks in your mind that it was an accident, but it wasn't. Yep. It's definitely like Buddy from Child's Play. Yep. So that's the thing, and it's kind of funny how we watch these videos that basically warn of something like that, and then here it's actually happening. Like the first Terminator, and so on. Like, and now they're going for it. It's like, wow. And iRobot, that was another one. iRobot, basically, the same thing. Basically, like, wow, you're not seeing your own, these videos and that are being made, movies being made that are basically warning of something like that, but you don't care. But basically, they're going to make us fat and lazy by having all these robots take over, and then guess what? Now we're easier to control because we're going to be focused more on electronics, TV, phones, tablets, stuff like that. Yep, exactly. I've noticed that a lot too, and it's crazy. I'll be watching these movies, and next thing you know, years down the road, it's like, what the hell? This reminds me of this movie. This reminds me because it's actually going on. It's insane. But Elon Musk is I'm very a spiritual person with God and Jesus, and every time I watch this guy come on or reels, TV, like I just get this uneasy, evil feeling from him, and that's how I knew like right away that he is definitely an antichrist, because like I could tell from from a personality a bad person, but this guy is just pure evil. And then I catch him a lot in his lies, like he was saying so long that he's against AI. AI is going to take over if we go AI, but yet everything he creates is what? AI. Nonstop. His cars, his robots, his rockets, everything AI. And then also, it seems like this guy's more in control because everything is going towards these implants in the hand and the head. And it just seems like what he says is going too. So, and he just reminds me of Genesis, the yeah. So that's the thing. Like, there is some, but you usually when you look into some of these people that pop up, they have like a background that leads back to childhood. Musk doesn't. Elon Musk doesn't have that background really. He just really literally just pops out of nowhere. And that's what's insane. And then also on top of that, like you would think we would have a background because he's supposedly a trillionaire. And he wouldn't become a trillionaire overnight in reality. So, I mean, to be even a genius, it would take, certain points to become a trillionaire. But just out of nowhere, this guy comes out and then he's a trillionaire. And he's always beside the president. Always nonstop. That's even including Biden. I mean, he joked about, made a mockery of Biden, but so did all of us that didn't like Biden. Which I don't even know why people even liked Biden because he was just a mess and easier to control. But anything else? Man, I can discuss all kinds of stuff here to tell you. Yeah, I would too. But here's the thing with Elon Musk. It's like, that's why I say it's shady, is I haven't seen nothing. I'm not backing as subject at hand. I'm not. I'm saying I'm any more that you want to discuss about it. But I haven't heard of any kind of paper trail with Musk. Maybe some of the other people might have more of a paper trail, but Musk, I have not seen anything. There's a lot of people that question that. And that's including higher ups. Oh, okay, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, well, supposed asteroids, we'll say that because I'm gonna tell you something, dude. Like, I know you missed that part. An asteroid that they described, I think they said it's about like 10 football fields. That struck Earth and supposedly wiped out dinosaurs and all this. I'm sorry, if it was able to wipe out supposed dinosaurs, it would wipe everything out, and there would be no us. There would be no us. Even an asteroid 3 football fields would be catastrophic enough that it would just wipe out life completely. Especially at the speeds that they go, even entering Earth's atmosphere. No. it would probably triple in speed entering Earth's atmosphere and that. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only thing that ever struck Earth was believed to be a mothership, and it is in this body of water. And there's not just one; there's multiple. There's multiples because they're constantly out there. Yeah, the only thing that happened was floods, exactly. So, and those are recorded throughout history. There's floods. Those are recorded. The only thing that was happening here is the floods and the deep freeze. From I would say kind of like a polar shift. But a shift in weather that was bad enough because they do have woolly mammoths and some other that the food's frozen in their mouth. But an asteroid now. An asteroid would be so bad that it would there would be no life and Earth would not be vegetated. It would look like Mars if there's a real photos of Mars because I'm gonna explain now something for you guys. So I know I got asked yesterday if we ever really been to the moon, and the whole thing is there. Like I said, there was never any outer space. We've never been out there, and there's a proven fact. So if you remember, there was a video. I think it was in the 70s or 80s. There was a picture of supposedly glyphs that was supposedly in Mars, but yet they just recently found it in Hawaii. It matches to a T. So that's really where they got that photo of them glyphs. Was in Hawaii, and they said it was from Mars because it was originally underwater. So it was back underwater, and then all of a sudden the waters had receded lately, and that's where now it's being found that it was in Hawaii, and it matches that photo from back in the day. Correct, hybrid, and yeah, dinosaurs never existed. At least not the things we're told about. Yeah, so everything you see now is what would you call it? 3D printed almost, hybrid that they show us. What about chickens? They aren't descendants. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yep, and animated. Exactly correct. Exactly correct. The most I've ever seen is what we basically call the Chinese call dragons. And those are pretty much you'll see them scrubbed on certain things being found. As far as I know about, I haven't actually seen anything that's what dinosaurs were back in the day. I haven't seen any of those. Yep, all CGI. Yep. I only have one video on my Facebook page that shows, and it's crappy. It's a crappy video, but I'm starting to think that video is made some way as well. So chickens aren't descendants? I don't know. I don't know about chickens, brother. Maybe they were just hideous looking back in the day because they sure ain't nothing to look at nowadays, except when they're cooked. But yeah, so I don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. I don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. Whoa, what am I supposed to watch? Let's do it. Tell me what to look up. My rooster will get you. Is that what I'm supposed to look up? rooster will get you. I'm gonna look that up too. I'll watch my mouth. I don't know. Them roosters are pretty vicious. I'll tell you that. But yeah, yeah, they were considered beasts. Yeah. He beats the wife up all the time. Who's that? Who's that? Who beats the wife up all the time? Rooster. You got 4 chickens? For real? Why in the world would you have chickens? Man, your neighbors must not like you. If you have a rooster, man. Oh my God. Does that thing crow every morning? True. True, but I don't know. Isn't that a little expensive with chickens, or they just feed off the ground? I mean, I think you would have to buy them some kind of food, right? Corn, something. You don't mind now? Listen, don't feel bad. My neighbors hate it too because when I was working back in the day, I had my car is pretty loud, and that's what my rooster was. God, if I actually have a muffler, if I'd show it to you guys, yeah, I still have one of them. It was real loud, extremely loud. That's why I kept it too, because it was expensive. Oh, but hi, Braden, do you believe in weather control, and how long do you believe it's been going on? Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know. I want to know his theories on that or his beliefs. I like to hear everybody's. I'm sorry. But it's good to always, find out different people, opinion or whatever. What they think or what they know. Okay, well, what do you think about a mothership that could control the weather ship for decades to protect itself from being found from our kind? Like, say it's under a body of water. And that's why the weather, all of a sudden, when they're trying to look for it. So you have to get into my video. That's what this is about. Cliff was just drunk, was listening to that part. So apparently there is a mothership that's in a country. I can't go into detail yet because it hasn't been fully released, but there is already talk about some of the stuff. That every time that they try to go and look for it, these orbs and UFOs show up, and then the weather goes bad and they can't, look at it or try, because apparently there's a huge element 115 in this mothership that's worth tons of money. We're talking about in the billions of dollars, and they want to get to it, but it somehow is controlling the weather. Oh yeah, definitely. I already knew that. Yeah, it's been going on for decades, probably even longer. I think even farther back. Yep. There you go. So I like hybrid. So I don't believe in outer space, but I do think something can happen with it, and I believe that we found things in the ocean, and that's the whole reason for NASA to try and explore space. Yep. Yep. I don't think that's the only thing though, hybrid, that they found that got them scared enough to want to focus on outer space or what they want to call space. Yep. Yep. Most advances in technology that we see, they already have been having years ahead of us. We get versions that are behind theirs over time. Yeah. So there is actually proof in Egypt. They found tablets and what looked like possibly could be a phone. Another one, possibly a watch. Mm. Yeah. They're finding tons of things that in their opinion is unexplainable. What they say is unexplainable. Good stuff from outside the ice wall. Yes. There we go. Love Hyriden's answer. It's stuff from outside the ice wall. Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually not just Antarctica that has an ice wall. It's apparently all around us, which I believe. I do believe that because it seems like most of your places are near that edge that you're not allowed. It's protected and cut off, which would prove my theory that there is more ships than we are being told. We're talking about more Navy ships and Coast Guard ships that we're not even told about that are out and protecting and keeping those people away. Back before we had combat ship and only wooden boats and sailed through a break and was met by a steel ship way more advanced than we had. Yes. Yes. And what about them ghost ships that people just disappear off these ships and yet they still, and what's weird is that's even a wooden ship. There was a wooden ship that was seen, a ghost ship, and there was nobody aboard it, but it was sailing fine. And it's kind of weird. Like you would think they would stop these ships and take them in and try to investigate them, but they really don't want to touch them, which is odd. What is your opinion on that, Hybrid? That we're talking about, even combat ships and that. I mean, these ships are empty, but yet you leave them sailing around. You don't want to like figure out what's going on. No, I ain't worried about it, guys. Only you two are really on. And this really is a discussion anyway. It's not the whole focus. So if anybody joins later or watches this later, I don't just talk about certain things. Other people can bring things up that I will talk about. I'm willing. I'm not that kind of person that just focuses on one topic really. If someone else is wanting to talk about other things, just easier though that we're not constantly bouncing around from like yesterday. I really don't like how we, bounce. Stay on a subject for a while and then we could switch it up and then, go to the next thing. I don't know. And that's my fear is I don't want to mess something up because, I don't have it yet. I mean, there is an edit button here, but I don't want to risk, you know what I mean? Yeah, as long as we can keep it organized that for each subject at a timeline, that's fine. Yesterday, kind of like, and I want to apologize to those that do know, like UCM drunk, like you didn't stay the whole time, but it was the aggravation of trying to figure out everything, and then I had everybody bombarding me with stuff. Let's see here. Hopefully, don't mess up the stream. Okay, we will change it now. What the heck is going on here? Hang on a minute. My computer is acting slow because I'm live. So give me a minute. We'll change it back to random. And we'll leave the description the way it is. Save. And there we go. There we go. So change is saved. Okay. But okay, now we can go back. Yeah, you'll have to go back, Hybrid, and listen to some of that. And if you could, Hybrid, please subscribe so you don't miss other stuff that's going on and being talked about. Now, I don't know, Hybrid, do you know that I was in the military? I don't know if your cousin ever told you or anybody else ever told you that I was in the military. Okay, good. So I don't know how much your cousin knows about me and what you've discussed with him. So I have a really long military background. And when I first got out of boot camp, I was put over at Area 51. I did Area 51 for about 6 months until I asked for a transfer. I wasn't too keen on some of their regulations and rules. And then that's when I was sent over to Afghanistan. And then my whole family's been in the military and government, for decades. So, welcome in. We're basically talking about random stuff that's been going on and has been going on, like the control of weather as of now. Okay. Well, now he knows. Yep. Remember that day. Well, this is the time to do it, Hybrid. This is what my whole stream is about. So throughout streams, we'll get into a lot of subjects too about that. What I went through in the military, what I've seen, what I was a part of on some things I can talk about. Not everything. I cannot give out top secret information due to risk. I might be somewhat of a whistleblower, but I ain't going that far that would put my family in danger. That's one thing I will not do. Maybe if I was still with my ex-wife. I'm joking. Chemtrails, that's one way. They do have a machine that's great that I've heard about that controls the clouds and that. So basically, if they need to cover the clouds for some reason, cover the sky for some reason, they will do that. It's basically this weird looking machine that just pushes out smoke. It looks what looks like smoke. It just they do have a machine that I know of that can create fog. So I think a lot of our fog is from that. Now, I don't know how they would get it, though, to certain areas. So that's the only thing I don't know about. But the chemtrails, I think, it depends on how many planes are putting out chemtrails. That's what controls a lot of stuff. Um, I believe they might have other things that we don't even know about that would control the weather. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that I've seen them do with even drones and that. And we're not talking about little drones like this. I do have a drone here. I'm trying to get rid of it, in fact, but yeah, it's a nice drone. Uh, but these things are definitely insane. Yeah, it's just another tool, and they have different kinds from what I've heard. I've never seen a lot of them, but they do have other things. There's even certain nanotechnology that's probably do it. But almost like this, these things are insane. And I don't know if guys know, some of these drones can carry stuff too, so you can't see them. But they probably be 10 times. But they also have drones that are like 10 times bigger than that. I mean, maybe even 20 times bigger than this. But these drones are just insane, and these ones are really cool because they use actually these ones in the military for spying and that different color, definitely not orange, but they will come with 2 batteries, and they will actually put them together. They actually will go in, and then instead of using a phone, because that can be left behind, they have these. And right here is actually where you can see where you're going and everything. And you can zoom, you can everything, and it's crystal clear. Now this one you can put your phone in too to have better view. But these are military grade ones. And I can show you how. So this right here up top is your GPS. So if your screen goes out, you still be able to control it and get it to come back to you. And then you have there. Then in the back here is a piece of camera. It's a little camera too that lets you know if anything's in back of it or being followed. These ones are, you can buy these. That's what's crazy. You can actually buy these now. And these take a beating. So I don't know if you can see. These actually take a really good beating and still work properly. I've had this thing pop out too, and it still works. Like it's insane. It don't cause any issues. I've had it run into a tree and then it fixed itself. But what's nice is these come out with tons of new blades and actual screwdriver, a little screwdriver for it. But these are used in the military. They're real decent. Comes in a nice case. Yeah, hybrid. Yeah, they have drones the size of planes. Yes, they do. Yep, they've been had those. The newer ones is they have drones that are bugs, fly, bee, beetles, even an ant. Then they have one that's real small, but it has a explosive device on it that disintegrate a person. It has enough explosive in it. Hang on a minute. Get this. Yeah, this is what's called an S9 intelligent aerial drone. So you can buy these online. And this is the older version. They have newer ones. They actually, it's not just planes. They also have ones that are helicopters, the size of helicopters. They do have ones the size of helicopters. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it definitely is scary stuff. They actually have dog. It looks like a real dog. It's insane. Um, that's used for spying as well. Dogs, cats. Um, they're talking about possibly. I heard them talk possibly of doing a horse too. That looks 100% real and walks like it's 100% real and all everything. I don't know if you guys heard about Ford. I wouldn't be buying a new Ford truck or Ford vehicle at all. So basically, they have these systems in it now that can run your background, run everything, uh, listen to what you're talking about, take a picture, and well, not listen to what you're talking about, lip read. Yep. Yep, sir, Hiram. I don't know if you heard about Ford. Hiram. That it's basically like a spy vehicle that that looks at your lips and it can read your lips, know what you're saying, check your background, see if you have warrants out for your arrest. Uh, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. Ford is junk. Ford is junk. Now, back in the day, we're talking about the classics. They were decent. Oh yeah, they got all kinds of tech, dude. Yep, yep, it can. It can. It's insane. There's a guy that used to work at Ford, and he's speaking out about it, and he's saying, "Stop buying Ford." How you saying, "Stop buying Ford"? uh, Listen, I only had ever in my life one Ford, and it was a Ford Expedition. Now it was decent, but except for that, I don't know if you know the exhaust, the tube that does the exhaust. I forget what it's called, but it's a freaking rubber tube. And listen, I had that pop out. Listen, I went to everywhere and the only place I could get one it was Ford, the original, because all the ones that I bought and put in, it would melt it. It would melt. So I took it to Ford, and do you believe they wanted $80 for a freaking little tube? I mean, the tube was only this long. That long. Yeah, the 80s and some of the 70s were nice. The 70 Fords were decent. I don't know about the Fox bodies. Yeah, I think I'd rather buy an antique classic. Truthfully and honestly. Oh, man. These newer, besides anyway, these newer vehicles are all junk. Even Honda's starting to go down. They're starting to lose traction on their cars. Uh, the Fox body, the body look, yeah, but the mechanical end, no, 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 no. I think. Listen, I'm not saying I don't like them. I just would never buy one to drive it because mechanically you're just constantly having to fix it. I mean, I see them constantly, being sold and having issues, and they're complaining that they've been had issues. Yeah. Yeah, well, in my position now, I can't afford one of those. They look sick, but listen, driving them was sick too. Because my fiance, her brother, he still has his. And it don't run. I don't know why he keeps it, but it was fun riding around with him. But dude, he just had to constantly fix it all the time. You know, yeah, you would have to. I mean, with probably something with a classic one, yeah. Not one of these newer ones. Just like these newer Dodge Challengers that came out. My fiance wants one so bad, but this I've heard so many bad reviews on the newer ones. It's just insane. Now I've had the Charger, and I'll tell you my experience with the Dodge Charger was all right, but those just that's why I sold the ones I had because they just had constant issues. So I had a really nice one. If you, I knew see him drunk, I knew drunk as your cousin has probably seen the pictures of it. I really did a lot to it, and that was a stupid mistake because it was weird because it started having this transmission issue, and I didn't drive it like crazy. I just drove it to shows and stuff like that, and didn't race it. Didn't do anything that would mess up that transmission. And I'll tell you what, and there wasn't even that many miles on it. There wasn't even that many miles. I think there was like 36,000 miles on it, and the transmission just was acting up. Then it would go away. Then it would act up again like months later, and yeah. They're nice, but the problem was the engine. Just like so, I had a buddy, and he drives like a little old grandma. Like he don't speed, he don't push it. Speed limit a little under speed limit because I always rode with him, and even when no one was he didn't drive it crazy, and he went through three engines, and then finally he caught it quit. I was like, dude, after the first one, I would have caught it quit. What are you talking about? Because he told me it was almost $11,000 for another engine. Well, that's because his was a V8 Hemi, but I was like, yeah, no. I ain't putting that much money into another engine, a brand new one especially. Yup. Yeah, and even the Dodge Rams, I'm hearing stories about Dodge Rams. Now, I always favored the Dodge Ram because it just, I don't know, it looked all right. But now the newer trucks I really like, the Chevys and stuff like that. Ford's not so much. I've never been a Ford kind of guy. I'm more like the Hondas and Mitsubishis and stuff like that. Like I was into the Mitsubishi Lancers, the Honda Civics, Honda Preludes was my real favorite, and Nissan. So, like, I really favored the 1985, or was it 86? It was a Nissan Skyline, and yeah, GSR, and I really favored that. And I never had a problem with that. And then my Prelude too. My Prelude was, I had a few of those, and I'll tell you what, I've rode those till over 500,000 miles before I really had any problems with it. Yeah, Chevy and GMC's always been. I've never really heard too many problems with them. Well, with the trucks, I mean any truck, if you're not constantly undercoating it, which people don't understand that, is gonna rust out. Like, duh. Okay, yeah. But really, that's even a vehicle, any car. If you're not constantly coating underneath your car, it's gonna rust out. Like, you want to take care of your car, make it last longer, and you gotta coat them. Get them from Europe. Over in Europe, dude, they're dirt cheap, 1,500. Well, I think Germany has them that are 1,500, and I think that's USD also, and that's worth a lot over there. Yeah, that's where it's going to cost you, though. Yeah, that you can. Yeah, that's where I got mine. I got mine from Tokyo, and dude, it cost me almost $5,000 to have it shipped over. It was insane. In their currency, well, 1,500 USD in their, and then in their currency, it's probably more. And some, it depends on what country it is. Germany, I think it's 1,500 in USD is more than their worth more in their currency. Depends on the vehicle. Like mine was almost $5,000 to get mine shipped over from Tokyo. So it all depends. Depends on what kind of car it is because of the size, the width, and all that. So, and if they're going to be able to fit either just that in one container, which is going to cost you more because usually they could fit 2, 3 of them in there. Yeah, and that's exactly it's also where it's going to go too. Yep. Yep. So if you're going, because normal shipping lanes mostly, I think, go to Florida. Am I correct, Ivan? I'm not too familiar on that part. I know mine went to Florida, and the reason it costed so much is because they had to also bring it up on a truck bed. But I still had to meet them because it would have cost me more to come all the way to Pennsylvania. So I had to meet them in Tennessee. And then I just drove I had my buddy take me down, and I just drove the car back, which was a new experience being on a different side. It was I completely forgot about it, and I had a little trouble at first. I'm like, damn, like, I've never drove a side. I was like, damn, like, what the hell am I thinking? So my first time in one was a whole different experience because you're shifting with the left hand and driving. Whole new experience, but it was awesome. It took me a little bit, but once I got it figured out, it was nice. It was different, but it was nice. Yeah. So, but those cars were fast though. I'm gonna tell you what, them Skylines are fast. They take off because they're so lightweight, and they're great cars. Great cars. And basically, like, what's nice is most of it's already factory done. So, yeah, thank you, Drunk. I appreciate that. And join the chat. Do not be afraid to join the chat. We talk about everything. But yeah, I'm probably going to end the stream here shortly, guys, because I got to go out and smoke. I've been on here for an hour and 34 minutes. Holy cows. Already. Insane. But it's good talking, and I'll probably be on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jeez. I wasn't expecting to be, because at first no one was coming on. Then again, it's early. But I do like the streams better than the videos. I'll tell you that. It's nice because you actually can conversate with people and communicate and talk and answer people's questions. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. An hour to an hour and a half. Yeah. I might start another channel up once I get my gaming PC, which should be coming soon. I gotta keep an eye on it. But I think I'm gonna do another channel like you are doing gaming and stuff too. I mean, I was thinking about doing a few channels to try to really get people into talking and that about certain things like game reviews, movie reviews, stuff like that. I don't know. Thinking about it. But all right, guys, I am going to end this stream for now. I appreciate it. I will be back on in about probably 15 to 20 minutes. We'll discuss something else. It changed, and I apologize. It changed from what we were talking about. But that's what we're about. We're about talking and getting to learn about different things and also to discuss about everything. Take it easy. Thank you, Drunk. I appreciate it. I'll be on again. Talk to you later.